Back in 2021, the guys over at Kit Plugins kindly invited me to try out their then brand new channel strip, the BBN105, and I absolutely loved it. So much so I've used it on all my course material and I continue to use it on every mix. So I'm pretty excited to find out that Kit Plugins have just released a brand new channel strip, again in conjunction with the guys over at Blackbird Studios, this time an emulation of a Neve N73. But they haven't just emulated one channel strip, instead taking the best elements from 12 separate 1073s to create what may well be the ultimate 1073 plugin for your home studio. Let's go check it out. Okay, so let me take you through this channel strip. So on the left hand side you've got your gain saturation control, this big red knob. If you flick that from line to mic, that then gives you control of the gain saturation. That's going to be deactivated whilst your saturation's in the line setting, and then you can go through and dial in through the notches as much gain saturation as you want to the signal. If you actually click on continuous gain, you can bypass the notches and just have smooth control as well, which is actually a really nice touch, I think. If you want auto gain enabled, that's going to turn down the fader and compensate for the gain, volume gain, which you're adding from this big red knob. So that's also a really handy feature as well. Saves you a little bit of time when you're dialing that in and mixing. Below there you've got your top end and your low end shelf, and in the middle here you've got your bell EQ as well, from 36 Hz all the way up to 7.2K. Below there your high pass filter, and below that you've got two controls, one to bring your EQ in and out for easy A-Bing, and next to that a phase control as well. In the middle of the plugin we've already covered these two options. Above that you've got fader control, where you can change the color of the fader. That's a nice fun touch. And above that you've got tooltips, which is just going to accurately show you exactly how much you're dialing in or attenuating. Below that you've got your metering, and to the right hand side you've got your fader. And below that you've got the option to get really authentically analog, dialing in some analog hum, which you can either have completely off and enjoy the silence of digital, or for authenticity, bring it on. You've got 3 different levels of hum level that you can dial in. Above that you've got a whole bunch of presets, you've got your in and out control, and you've got a bunch of options as well for oversampling too. Okay, so let's dive in and see what the BBN73 sounds like. Are you struggling to get the mix results that you deserve from your home studio? If so, I'd advise the 7-step guide to musical mixing. You can grab it right now for free from the link below this video. Included in that is also a 21 essential mix hacks cheat sheet and a guide to unlock the power of the channel strip. Go grab them, they're free right now from the link below this video. Okay, so first off I'm going to drop the channel strip on some electric guitar. I'm just going to switch it off for now, let you listen to that. Now let's bring in the BBN73, and all I'm going to do is just bring in a little bit of saturation from the channel strip, and I've done a little bit of a sweep around the mid-range. I'm about 1.6 and just dialing in a little bit to accentuate some of the colour and the tone that I like from this electric guitar. That's a really super easy way to do it on these Neve style channel strips, just to sweep around and see what sounds best, what sort of colour and tone you're liking, and then just bring a bit more of it out. So let's just take a listen to what difference just doing those 2 moves have made with the BBN73. So this is with it off and in. Back out. Back in. With the EQ off. And EQ back in. To me, it definitely feels like it's really tightening up those guitars, but when I bring the whole mix in, it's really evident, particularly with how the guitar sits with the vocals. Pay particular attention to that. Let's check it out.
I saw the light, corrupt and bright, in your eyes. I saw the light.
Take it out.
Though it may change, I stay the same. So book them in and spit
back
them
in.
out. I play a song above
Actually, to me, sounds like it really tightens up the whole mix, actually, just by those two moves dialing in the N73 on those guitars. It just brings everything together, tightens it up, and gives it a little bit more energy as well. I just want to take a minute to offer you, as a valued Real Home Studio viewer, some money off kit plugins, either by clicking on the link below this video or using coupon code RHS10 at checkout for 10% off your plugin purchases. Next up, I'm using the channel strip on some backing vocals. Once again, I'm dialing in some mic saturation. I've also dialed in a fair helping on the high shelf, a fair boost at 4.8 on the mid bell, and also just a tiny bit as well, 2.5 dB of boost on the low end, just to add a little bit of low end body to the vocal. Let's take a listen.
Never been so alone in a crowded room. I missed the bus, there's another one coming soon. The mic is open but the doors are closed. I'm looking
bypassing the plugin.
Staring down at his toes are froze. Those shows left me so cold. Keep the music coming like the act, I'm getting old. See people humming as
back in.
the rum and coke. But I'm broke, the man's spot, can't you take a joke?
Something worth noting as well is this meter is really handy in the middle here, so you can really volume match accurately.
Never been so alone in a crowded
See what I mean?
Let
me dial it down. So you can really make sure that your ins and outs are where they are, and your ears aren't lying to you with a big volume boost. Let's listen to the mix.
There's another one coming soon. The mic is open but the doors are closed. I'm looking back at the boy, staring down at his toes.
Plugging out.
Those shows left me so cold.
A lot muddier.
The music coming like the act, I'm getting old. See people humming as they're looking through the rum and coke. But I'm broke, the man's spoke, can't he take a joke? I keep fighting year to year.
Sounds great.
Never been so alone in a crowded room.
Brings a lot of life into these tracks, just a lot of energy. It's so easy to use as well. You can just work through the tracks with your channel strip, and sometimes it feels like I don't really need to do much else by the time I've dialed this plugin in. And finally, just moving on to a bit of bass, using that old Neve trick of pushing the channel strip really hard around 35 Hz just to get some beautiful fatness, some lovely Neve overtones and saturation that's really going to give your bass a lot more weight. And something else I've just want to mention as well is, as with I think pretty much most kit plugins, is it's really easy to resize this plugin as well, which is really handy if you've got limited screen space, if you're working on a laptop, for example. So I'm pushing really hard at 35 Hz, and I'm also bringing in a little bit of finger click as well, a bit of fenderiness at 4.8 as well. Tiny bit of saturation. Let's take a listen. Plugin off. You're really going to notice this, particularly if you're listening on headphones. Let's bring it back in. Yeah, it sounds great. Obviously, with this method, you'll continue down, do some compression and a little bit of filtering around there. But you're absolutely getting the benefit of that fat bass by driving it through this Neve emulation. So that is Kit Plugins Blackbird N73. It really is the kind of plugin that I love. It's intuitive, it's musical, easy to use, quick to get results. It sounds superb. I love the metering in the middle. It really helps you to make sure that you're A/Bing correctly. It's just a lovely plugin to use. My only gripe is that now I've got to make a decision on every mix whether I'm going to be using this or the Blackbird N105. I guess that's a nice problem to have. It's 10 out of 10 from me. I absolutely love this plugin. I'm going to be using it a whole lot more in the future on many a mix. So thanks to the guys over at Kit Plugins as always for sending this one into Real Home Studio. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the review today. Remember, if you want to get hold of this plugin or any other of the Kit Plugins then there's a link below this video, or you can use coupon code RHS10 to get 10% off at checkout. Go have yourselves a great day.